Hey guys, how are you doing? Man, I miss you guys so much. So I wanted to help some of you out with our converting measurements lesson that we're going to be working on this week. And there's a couple things that I want you to have on hand when you're doing these. The first one is this instruction sheet that explains to you what you should be doing and how you should be doing it. The second thing I need for you to have is this reference sheet. So the top gives you all different types of conversions, and then the bottom is kind of a cheat sheet of different abbreviations. So some of them are really easy, like minute equals min, but then we've got some weird ones that we've talked about a little in class, like ounces is OZ. I don't know where they got that from, but it's just something we kind of need to know. So the bottom is those abbreviations, and the top is the reference you're going to need. So let's start with a problem like this one. The bottom of the box just says 5 minutes and then seconds, and that's all we have on this problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look over at my instructions sheet, and the first thing says to write the units in the top boxes. So all you're going to do is you're going to copy this minute up here, and we're going to copy second over here. It's that easy. You're just going to copy what they give you from the bottom over to the top. So then let's look, and it says step 2, find the units on the reference sheet, and then write those numbers from the reference sheet in the top boxes. So I'm going to pull out my reference sheet here. And down here at the bottom it says 1 minute equals 60 seconds. That one's a pretty easy one. You may have known. Some of them you will need this reference sheet for. So 1 minute, 60 seconds. And we're going to put that in the top box. So I just copy again. 1 minute equals 60 seconds. So we've got most of the box filled in already. So now let's go to step 4. It says use the top number to find the rule. And then underneath it, it says the rule goes in the bubble, and you always go away from the 1. So the top's always going to have a 1. So how do I get from 1 to 60? So we go away. I draw an arrow going away. And how do I get from 1 to 60? Times 60. So I put my rule in the bubble, and my arrow goes away from the 1. Sometimes your arrow is going to have to go backwards if your 1's over here, and I'll show you one like that next. So let's look at the next rule, rule 5. Use the same rule for the bottom box. Same rule, same arrow. So my rule is going to be times 60. My arrow goes towards the right. And rule 6 says use the rule to find the answer. So now I'm going to look here, 5 times 60. Well, we can do our zeros trick. 5 times 6 is 30. Add this 0 back on. How many seconds are in 5 minutes? 300 seconds. Okay, that one wasn't too bad, so let's try another one. We've got this one here, and now we're looking at liquid measurement. So they told us 7 gallons. So that would be like 7 gallons of milk, like the big ones you buy at the grocery store. And we want to know how many quarts that is. I have no idea, so let's go through and use our same method. So, I've got my instructions here. Step 1, write the units in the top box. Remember, we're just going to copy. So I'm going to copy quart and gallon. And step 2 tells me to find the units on the reference sheet. So I'm looking for how many quarts are in a gallon, how many gallons are in a quart. Let's come over here and look. Well, right here it says 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. 1 gallon, 4 quarts. So the gallon is larger. So we're going to write those numbers in the top box. 1 gallon, 4 quarts. So far, all you have done is use that reference sheet and copy. Okay? Make sure you use that reference sheet. Don't just copy on your measurements. So the next one says to find the rule using the top number. Remember, the arrow always goes away from the 1. Wait a minute, my 1's on the right side now. So now my arrow's going to be going backwards. So my arrow goes backwards. How do we get from 1 to 4? Well, that's easy. We just say times 4. So the rule goes in that bubble, and my arrow goes away from the 4. Step 5 says to use the same rule from the bottom. on the bottom, sorry. Remember, we are just going to copy ourselves. So my rule is times 4. If my arrow on the top goes backwards, my arrow on the bottom goes backwards. Now when I solve, I have 7 times 4 equals blank. Let's try our song. 7, oops, sorry, my marker's flying away. 7, 14, 21, come and see what I can do. 28, 35, 42. So our answer is 28. So if mom says, hey, Dad, can you go to the store and get 7 gallons of milk? The kids have been home for 2 weeks and they're drinking everything in the fridge. And Dad says, hey, all they have at Bueller's is quarts. How many quarts of milk would he have to grab? 28. Okay, let's try one last one on this video, and hopefully they're starting to make a little sense for you. So I have 9 cm to mm. I don't know what those mean. Okay, let's pull out this reference sheet and check. So cm is right here, and that stands for centimeters. Remember on our ruler we had in the classroom, the centimeters were really small. And then the mm is down here. That stands for millimeters, and those are super teensy tiny. Those were the ones we were looking at, and they were about as thick as my fingernail. They were really teeny tiny. So we want to find how many millimeters are in 9 centimeters. So, step 1, copy the units in the top box. Centimeter, millimeter. Step 2, find the units on the reference sheet. So I'm going to look on my reference sheet. Down here, centimeter, 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. So I just copy. 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. So far we've just copied. Step 3, use the numbers, Step 4, use the top numbers to find the rule. Your arrow always goes away from the 1. Okay, how do we get from 1 to 10? This is an easy one. Times 10. Step 5, use the same rule for the bottom. Okay, my arrow goes this way, so this arrow is going to go this way. Same rule in the bubble, times 10. Times 10. And step 6, find the rule to use the rule to find your answer. 9 times 10 is 90. How many millimeters are in 9 centimeters? 90 millimeters. Nice work, guys. Let me know if you have any other questions or if you're having trouble on any. So I want you now to go grab your homework and try one on your own and let me know how you do. Good luck, guys.